Oh hi, I like to update on my progress in ketogenic diet so far. I'm into 11th day. Let's dive straight into the chart. I measure my weights first thing in the morning for consistency. I'm happy to announce that there is a general downward trend in my body weight. For the first 72 hours, I persisted with coffee with butter, coconut oil, and MCT oil, which is a medium chain triglyceride, and dashi soup, and occasional cheese. However, I do not recommend anyone to jump straight into this method if they have no idea what they're doing. It's like running a full marathon. You need to have preparation, you have to have proper shoes, and you have to know what's the distance of the full marathon. You know, runner must do more than that. Besides preparation, they must be focused, know the pace, and so on. So, good starting point with the goal of fasting is to shift your diet to ketogenic diet and then work your way up. Why do occasional fasting is a topic for another day. In my previous video, I mentioned about my tendency to become insulin insensitive. We generally call it insulin resistance. So, what is insulin resistance? In layman's term, that is when our cells in the body are not responding well to the signaling of insulin hormone. I like to give an illustration from a perspective of business operation because I came from distribution business background. Now, insulin is like a messenger. So imagine insulin delivery guy coming to one of business complex, surrounded by high wall. And now he goes to a particular gate and greets the watchman there. He says, "Hey, there are plenty of sugar, energy, and other nutrients ready to be sucked in." So the watchman calls all the relevant departments to suck in those nutrients by connecting their pipes to the ducts attached to the wall, which connects to the outside. That's how they suck in the nutrients, by protruding their pipes outside the wall or the cell barrier. But what if the watchman becomes tired, drowsy, moody, and forget to call all the departments? As a result, some show up, but others do not. Maybe we can get away if one cell acts like that, but we are talking about 30 trillion cells. So if quite a ratio of cells has those lame duck watchmen, it's not good for the cells. Also, the blood sugar level remains high. So the body pumps out more insulin guy and repeat the process. Those lame duck watchmen react like, "What the matter with you? Stop bugging me." The insulin guy would say like, "Oh, I'm only doing my job." So the relationship goes sour. Now, I may have exaggerated a bit about the feelings of those cells. I doubt that the cells have feeling, but in a nutshell, cells are resisting insulin signaling. If it goes on, it progresses on to metabolic syndrome, then on to type 2 diabetes and onset of organ failures. What is the root problem? It is insulin resistance, and the way to fix is to give cell a rest. Those cells are like do not disturb state. So give them a break by eating food that do not pump out so much insulin messenger. Now, you may have heard of glycemic index, which diabetic patients must follow, but there is another index called insulin index. It's quite similar to glycemic index because insulin is secreted in response to our food intakes, but respond mostly to carbohydrates. Protein also trigger insulin, but not as much as carbohydrates. But the fat triggers negligible response. So eat food low in insulin index. Then over a period of time, those watchmen get enough rest and become alert again. These watchmen are actually receptors of cells and they become sensitive. the receptors are no longer insulin resistant, which means that you can intake in moderate amount of carbs again, and insulin will do its job by signaling, and the receptor of the cells will function properly. So one reason people do ketogenic diet is to heal insulin resistance. In that process, the weight will go down to certain level. There will be many other beneficial changes which I will save it for next postings. I like to visually explain what it means to keep our insulin level low from practical perspective, such as how we eat, meaning when and what we should eat or not to eat in the next posting, and what insulin does to body besides signaling. So thank you for watching, and if June can do it, so can you.